Welcome to Story Matrix, another day, another story. Hey everyone. The Matrix is evolving rapidly, and every second, thousands of people from around the world are getting plugged into the Matrix. The Matrix loves you, and today the Matrix will show you that you are not crazy either. For so long, people have been called conspiracy theorists for speaking the truth. Today, the Matrix will pull back the curtain and expose these truths to the world. Number 8. The US government manufactured the testimony that propelled the US into a Gulf War with Iraq. In October of 1990, a 15-year-old girl named Mira testified to the US Congress, stating that she had witnessed Iraqi soldiers taking 15 Kuwaiti babies out of incubators and leaving them on the floor to die. This testimony aired on about 700 television stations throughout the United States. President George Bush Sr. repeated the story at least 10 times in the following weeks, in an attempt to sway public opinion towards supporting the Gulf War. Number 7. Bohemian Grove, the rich, the powerful, and the giant stone owl of pagan rituals. The mysteries surrounding the Bohemian Grove in Monte Rio, California, have been a favorite topic amongst conspiracy theorists for many years. The stories usually involve rich and powerful men meeting in the woods every year, where they engage in pagan rituals and worship a giant stone owl. The owl reportedly plays voice recordings of member Walter Cronkite. Sounds pretty kooky, right? Well, it turns out that CBS, NBC, and ABC have confirmed the existence of the Grove. The Bohemian Club was formed in 1872 and quickly received attention and funding from wealthy businessmen. In 1942, the Grove hosted a meeting for the Manhattan Project that led to the creation of the atomic bomb. While it's true that the most powerful men in the world come here and perform strange rituals in front of a giant owl, it's mostly just a place for powerful men to behave like drunken frat boys. Number 6. CIA and the government mind control drug. It's the 1950s, and communist spies are everywhere. The Cold War is heating up, and it looks as though the Soviet Union might gain the upper hand on American democracy. What would you do? With the hopes of discovering a truth serum, the CIA decided they needed to secretively dose unwitting US and Canadian citizens with LSD, and then interrogate and occasionally torture the participants. The CIA paid hospitals, prisons and universities for their participation and their silence. In 1973, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered that all documents related to MKUltra be destroyed. While the conspiracy was eventually uncovered, nobody involved in the project remembered the details and a complete timeline of events remains incomplete. Number 5. Canada tried to develop Gaydar, a radar to detect gay people. The Canadian government was so paranoid about homosexuality that it developed a Gaydar machine. Sounds absolutely crazy, right? Well, it really happened. In the 1960s, the government hired a university professor to develop a way to detect homosexuality in federal employees. He came up with a machine that measured pupil dilation in response to same-sex erotic imagery. The Canadian government used it to exclude or fire more than 400 men from civil service, the military, and the Mounties. Thankfully, the world has changed, and we know about these atrocities thanks to the so-called conspiracy theorists. Number 4. Operation Northwoods, the government's plan to kill innocent people to win a war. What if someone told you that the US government devised a plan to kill innocent people to win a war against communism? You would call them a tinfoil hat nut job, right? Well, turns out they are right, and you would be wrong. The US government was involved in several crazy conspiracies during the 1950s and 1960s. Operation Northwoods was probably the nuttiest of them all. In 1962, the CIA planned to stage terrorist attacks on American citizens and military targets in Miami and Washington, blame it on the Cuban government and convince the American public to wage war on Cuba, which had, under the direction of Fidel Castro, recently become communist. The plan involved killing innocent people and soldiers, blowing up US ships and Cuban refugee boats, hijacking airplanes and planting phony evidence to implicate the Cuban government. Operation Northwoods was authorized by the Joint Chiefs of Staff and presented to the Secretary of Defense, Robert McNamara, before President John F. Kennedy rejected it. Of all of the great things JFK is remembered for, we should be most thankful that he had the power to stop this buffoonery. Number 3. The government killed people during the period of alcohol prohibition in the U.S. The government poisoned alcohol to keep people from drinking it? Does that sound crazy to you? Well, there's some truth to it. Manufacturers of industrial alcohol had been mixing their products with dangerous chemicals for years before Prohibition. But between 1926 and 1933, the federal government pushed manufacturers to use stronger poisons to discourage bootleggers from turning the alcohol into moonshine. That didn't stop the bootleggers or their customers, and by the end of Prohibition, more than 10,000 Americans had been killed by tainted booze. Much of the illegal booze was sold in infamous night spots called speakeasies. So called from the practice of speaking quietly about such a place in public, or when inside it, so as not to alert the police and neighbors. Number 2. The CIA assassinates high-profile people to shift the balance of power in geopolitics. There have been so many movies showing that the CIA will handle business in other countries' politics. Well, strap in because this one is as much true as the fact that the Earth is round. In 1975, Senator Frank Church helped form the precursor to the U.S. Senate Select Committee on Intelligence after the Watergate scandal. Commonly referred to as the Church Committee, their purpose was to investigate the CIA and FBI to ensure that they were operating within the law. The committee quickly discovered that the CIA had started a hitman business. The CIA was responsible for the assassinations of Mossadegh in Iran, Allende, Below, in Chile, as well as other leaders and revolutionaries in Central and South America, Africa, the Middle East and Eastern Asia. They made their assassinations appear like car accidents, suicides, cancers, and heart attacks. When their declassified heart attack gun wasn't necessary, they would shoot their targets with bullets. While all of this is part of the congressional record, it's still common for people to laugh this one off as a nutty conspiracy theory. Now, before the Matrix reveals one more so-called conspiracy theory, please comment below and let us know what you think of the tinfoil hat people now. Number 1. The Illuminati and the U.S. government. If you have never heard of the Illuminati, then you must be living under a rock. The Illuminati is a secret society consisting of very powerful people that rule the world. This sounds bonkers, right? Well, what if I told you that the Illuminati and U.S. National Security Agency, NSA, are in cahoots? We're here to tell you that a link does, in fact, exist. Of course, that link is actually a hyperlink, i.e., an electronic link between two internet sites. If you type Illuminati backward, Atanamuli, into a web browser, you will land on the NSA website. Don't believe the Matrix, please type in atanamuli.com and see for yourself. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe for more.